Welcome to Galactic Grandmother Heart to Heart. My name is April, and my special guest today is Marisa Acocella. Marisa is a cartoonist. She does cartoons for the New Yorker. She is a New York Times bestseller, and she recently has really been tearing it up on social media, busting through the programming. And so we've got lots to talk about today. And I'm so happy you're with me today. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me, April. You're so special, and it's such a honor to be on your show.
Oh, thank you. I've been watching you, keeping my eye on you, and been wanting to get you on. Uh, for my audience that may not know who you are, and you're coming to us from Florida today, right? Would you please give us a little background about your journey to who you are and where you are today?
Okay, so I am a cartoonist. I've been a cartoonist I started pretty much late in life, when I was about 30. And it's interesting because my mother was a shoe designer, and she
Oh,
would do these trend reports. Well, she designed shoes for Jackie Kennedy for JFK's inauguration.
wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jackie was pregnant with John John. My mom was pregnant with me. So, and they were both pregnant and bonded over the fact that they both have a size 11 shoe and they were both pregnant.
I did not know she had such a big foot.
Yeah, she did. And she couldn't find shoes to for her outfit that Ola Cassini was designing. So she
Uh-huh.
called my mother, who was the head designer of Delman Shoes, and said, can I speak to the shoe designer?" And and my mother's like, "Oh my God, who's this?" And she said, "It's Jackie." And my mother didn't believe her. She thought she was being pranked, but she wasn't. They bonded over the fact that they had the same size shoe, and Jackie needed something custom. So anyway, I started imitating my mother. She was doing these trend reports, drawing these really fabulous women wearing her beautiful, fabulous shoes that she designed. And from there, I started drawing those women. And then uh, we had this vacation in Bermuda, and my mother didn't like the room in the resort. She said it was too small for us. So the owner of the resort gave us this house on the fringe of the resort, and there on the walls were these drawings with captions under it because I was getting bored with the women I was drawing. They weren't speaking, they didn't have a voice, and I was like, they look great, but what are they saying? Nothing, right? And then I saw the drawings had captions on them, and I was like, wow, that's so interesting. The women drawing, they could actually have a voice. I could give them life. And it turns out it was James Thurber's house, the famous New Yorker cartoonist.
Oh,
And I was 8 years old, and I stayed up that night until 4 o'clock in the morning reading old New Yorkers, Thurber books like Thurber Carnival, The White Deer, and I fell asleep at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I woke up 2 hours later with the sensation that things were crawling all over me, and my bed was filled with like 400 red ants. So
oh
it's
my gosh.
so then it was then that say that I was bitten by the cartoonist bug. But I totally forgot about that. Went to art school, went into advertising, and when I was 21, I'm 29, I had my Saturn return and I lit a candle, right? And I asked all the saints in heaven, God, Jesus, the Blessed Mother, all the saints, to please help me figure out what I want to do with my life because advertising wasn't it. And I had my sketchbook on my lap, and I started drawing, and I drew what looked like the women that I was drawing ever since, I was 3 or 4, imitating my mom with a gun in her mouth with a
Ooh.
line. She was a little upset during the meeting. And I wrote my first cartoon, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. I should have been a cartoonist all along. Leaned into the candle, my hair caught on fire. So I got a new career and a new hairstyle. I got one from a like long hair to a shag haircut. And since then, I've been a cartoonist. I left advertising and started writing graphic novels. And one book that I'm known for most of all is Cancer Vixen. I
Hmm.
am a three-time cancer survivor, and when I was diagnosed with cancer, I was on deadline for Glamour magazine, and my editor, when I told her, her second reaction was, "Well, do you want to write about it?" So I said, "Yeah, I think I do." And I didn't know what to call it at the time. I was going to call it Breast Case Scenario, which is a terrible title. But a friend of mine, I was depressed when I was diagnosed with cancer, and I was like wearing ratty clothes and ratty sneakers. And he looked at me and he's like, "Look, you are the daughter of a shoe designer. Your mother designed shoes for Jackie Kennedy. Look at your horrible sneakers. You should put on your fabulous shoes and not be a victim, be a vixen." And I was like, "Wow." And that became the title of my book. And I drew this during that cancer year.
Cool. Yeah.
And I like to say that I kicked cancer's bony ass, right? So, and I wore high heels to every single chemo session. And I say that, when the needle was going in and giving me the chemo and everything, that I would practice the law of distraction. And every time I felt pain, I distract myself from the needles and I look over at my fabulous shoes, and that made me feel better. So that's how I became a cartoonist.
Wow.
Hmm.
And that book has really taken off and around the world.
Yeah, yes.
Uh,
Hmm. It's been published in about 14 different language countries, many different languages. It's been optioned for many times for television and film. It's kind of in flux at the moment, but Kate Blanchett optioned it for 9 years. Laura Dern had it for three. So, we'll see what happens.
wow, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, and you said you had cancer 3 times. Was that the same kind that kept coming back?
No, the second and third time were melanomas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my dad passed away from melanoma, and I've been keeping track of this whole cancer thing because,
Hmm.
as you know, I am a cancer survivor, and the fact that I'm very upset, what happened with the CIA, they classified the cure for cancer that antiparasitic drugs like medbendazole and ivermectin, which was mocked relentlessly in Mockingbird media, that it was a total joke and it was a horse dewormer. Now we're finding out could actually reduce or eradicate tumors, and I just think that I just think of all the people that I know have passed away from cancer, and one friend specifically I did who did have breast cancer. And when I mentioned it to her sister, mentioned ivermectin, doctor number one, oncologist number one, said, "You sound like a dirty, rotten Trumper. Don't ever say it again." And another oncologist said, "It's not proven, and we can't we can't treat her with it because nobody knows anything about it." And the NIH actually did do a study, and that they didn't want to hear it. It's like, it's very frustrating, because the people seem to know more than like the experts.
Hmm. Well, we know who founded the current Western medical schools, and we
Rockefeller.
know that's all part of the agenda.
It is. It's all part of the globalist depopulation agenda. We know that the globalists are in charge of the medical establishment. You have to be careful about your doctors, who you choose, what they tell you to do, what they don't want you to do, what kind of treatments you should be taking. It's interesting to me that, and I always said this whenever I went into a hospital, whether it was me getting cancer treatments or when I have gone with my father, who did pass away from melanoma. I mean, ivermectin could have saved his life. Um, it's like, what are they giving you in hospitals? They're giving you foods that make you sicker, like juices with corn syrup, foods with corn syrup. It's junk. It's glyphosate crackers, uh, corn syrup jello. It's, with maltodextrin. Um, it's interesting now. It's an interesting time to see what's really happening with food and the food pyramid and processed foods and how people are really beginning to wake up. And, food is an indicator of how we're treating ourselves and our bodies and what we're choosing at the moment. So I'm I'm keeping an eye out on all of that stuff. It's really fascinating to me.
We can cure ourselves. We can maintain ourselves. These bodies were meant to live a long time.
I
And
know.
now we're coming out of a 50 or 60 years where we've been bombarded with toxins in every single way.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I think it's so important that people like you are are out there with the megaphone saying, "Hey, wake up, people. You got to
Hmm.
start educating yourself."
I really believe that. I feel like, I came from New York City, New York media, and it was pretty hard for me because I was talking to my friends who are in the media about what was really going on with the pandemic, and most of them didn't want to hear it. They really trust Mockingbird media because they're in Mockingbird media, couldn't open their minds, couldn't actually fathom any kind of contradiction or think about maybe that medicine wasn't really good for them or the media would be lying to them, the very people who were funding their careers. They just didn't want to hear it. And instead of questioning what was really going on, they would attack me. And I've lost a lot of friends once I started speaking out.
Oh, it's sad. And it's sad because the medical field, going back to parasites and ivermectin and menbendazole, my partner went to his regular doctor, and I have had, since we've been living together, I've been having him do parasite cleanses because I'm a
Mhm,
big believer in that. My
mhm.
son lives in China, and the first time I went over there in 2015, I came home with parasites.
You
So I
did.
treated myself, but the surprising after effect was I never got a cold or the flu or anything for years and years and years. It boosted my immune system to kill off parasites in my body. And I
That's,
mean,
uh-huh.
I was living with my daughter and granddaughter at the time. They would have raging fevers and the flu, and I'd be taking care of them, and I never got it.
Wow.
So
So what kind of cleanse did you do?
there's so many different kinds of parasite cleanses on the market now, liquid drops, capsules, you name it.
I know, because I was going to look into, I want to do that. And there's so much on the market. It's like, how do you figure out which one is right for you,
But
Because I really think that's so important. And they're saying these parasites do a lot of damage.
right.
And I mean, cancer. It's just crazy to me. I mean, and now we're just finding out things that we should have known all along,
Mm-hmm.
right? And uh, what else don't we know is another thing. What else are they
Mm-hmm.
not telling us?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very interesting what's going on in disclosure at the moment because, are we, I'm very skeptical of everything. And
You have to be nowadays.
we have to have like, we have to really be discerning about everything. And it's like I always say, don't be discernmentally challenged. Keep thinking. I should again do a posting on that. But I mean, it's like we really have to be listen to our gut and we have to be our own doctor, we have to be our own investigator, we have to be our own healer, we have to really rely on ourselves and our intuition, our own reporter, we have to really take care of ourselves and each other. And I think, one thing I've learned is that the more you talk, even though you might get, some people might get angry, it's too damn bad. It's like there are more people who want to hear the truth, who want to have a dialogue, who want to know what's really going on. And if somebody insults you, so what? If somebody writes something nasty on one of your posts, it's like, yeah, maybe that'll drive up my views. If somebody wants to like insult you or, take a shot at you, well, thank you so much because the more you do, like I always say, you're nobody till somebody hates you. And if you're really that mad, it's like you're helping, your posting is like doing great things for my social media. So keep it up and thank you for your support. I actually said that, and one of the friends that from New York got so mad, and he was always attacking me on my page, and I would always say, "Well, can you please stop? Do you want to keep this friendship with me?" And he just lost it. He just couldn't contain himself, just went after me. And what happened was, instead of people agreeing with him, that's what usually happened, he got ratioed, and people just jumped on him, and he unfollowed me. This is like one of my best friends. Just unfollowed me, blocked me. It's like, but you know what? I always think the truth come is more important than anything.
Amen, sister. Amen.
Amen, right? Yeah.
Uh, and and it just you have to gain a certain amount of self-confidence to be
Mm-hmm.
able to speak the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing I believe right now is that this programming for this false reality is
Mm-hmm.
busted through because from the spiritual point of view, you don't know who you really are until you cast off the programming and
Mm-hmm.
really go inside. Because just like, all of the conspiracy theorist dialogue they have put down, all of that now you can
Mm-hmm.
see people are starting to wake up and realize that a lot of stuff is coming true that the so-called conspiracy theorists talked about.
I know. I mean, it's like I just did a cartoon about that for the New Yorker. I don't know whether they're going to buy it this week, but let me see if I could find it. I could show it to you. Again, I'm like one of the black sheep who basically, says what I think. And I know I've made a lot of enemies in my chosen career. And like I say, it's too bad, right? It's too bad. If you don't like what I have to say, then I don't care. I did this one cartoon that you might like. Let me show it to you. I mean, it's really true about those conspiracy theorists because, you know, and even like the tinfoil hat, even now I get insults about that. It's like, you know what? It's like you're ridiculous. And I always say, instead of coming after me, why don't you like go after the people who are lying to you? Because they're the ones who are doing all the damage. Go after them and say, why are you saying this? Or is this true? Or question whatever bullshit they're putting out there.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, this is a rough, but here, let me show you. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes,
It
that's
says
conspiracy theorist 24637921 2.
0, not that we're counting or anything. It's like, you know what? It's like we haven't lost one yet. It's like everything we're saying is true.
And to get back to the medical stuff,
Mhm.
the early doctors did have medical books that included parasite cleanses. And it's common outside of the United States. Well, my friend went to the doctor
Mm-hmm.
and asked about parasite cleanses.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Oh, well, we don't have parasites in the United States."
Okay, it's
And
everywhere but the United States, but here we're fine.
right.
Right. Oh,
So that
wow.
made him wonder what he could believe then of what else she was saying,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I mean, you know what? True. It's like the medical establishment needs to really be, how ironic they're the ones who need to be put under the microscope. They should be doing their research, using their microscope, but instead they're the ones who really need to be looked at and questioned because, they've been lying and they choose actually not, it's even beyond lying. It's like willful ignorance of actual truth and facts. The truth is out there. There's been crickets from the medical industrial complex. There's been crickets from the cancer industrial complex. Nobody's saying anything. And the media is not even letting people like Senator
Kennedy?
no, Ron Johnson
Oh,
talk about ivermectin. I mean, and like there is a real story about like the adverse effects of the jab, that it's like there's crickets. They don't want to, it's because the media is controlled by the globalists, medicine's controlled by the globalists, it's all controlled by the globalists. So, I
and
mean, it's not
I
for the people.
there are so many good people that are in the medical field that take really good care of us, especially acute care.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
uh, and it's not those good-hearted people that are doing their job to really be helpful. It's
Mm-hmm.
the ones above making the policies.
I agree. But I am kind of stunned that more doctors aren't speaking out and saying, well, this study came out and I maybe should take a totally different approach to cancer. Or maybe I shouldn't be recommending that people get a jab. Like, I have not seen one doctor say anything like that. Have you?
Well, you mean there's plenty of doctors online saying that.
Okay. I
Yeah,
haven't seen any.
but
Okay.
but I don't go to doctors myself.
Right.
So I I'm fortunate that I even at 76, I don't take prescription drugs or have any medical conditions. And
Mm-hmm.
part of that is I'm really into the holistic approach,
Mm-hmm.
eating good food and drinking pure water and doing what I can because there's enough toxic pollution everywhere else in the air and so forth.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I, I get sun every morning on the beach. I do what I can too. The clean water, organic eating.
mhm,
Although, like even Driscoll's, like the organic strawberries are sprayed with like some kind of mosquito repellent. So you can't even trust that. I mean, again, you have to be really vigilant about your health care and what you put into your body.
right, right. And then there's the fact that we're masters of our own energy. And
Mm-hmm.
so talking to yourself and programming your own self, your own
Mm-hmm.
physical body's consciousness is
Mm-hmm.
really important.
It is. I mean, your thoughts too are things, and whatever I think, whatever you have in your head will magnetize whatever is in your or in
Feel
your field. So it's like it's have to be vigilant about everything. You have to be vigilant about being vigilant.
right. So you've really had some interesting, I've seen Jenny Lee on
I
your
love Jenny.
YouTube
Mhm.
channel and recently Carrie Cassidy. And
Yes,
said you were obsessed with Stargates.
I
Have you
am
found
obsessed.
out, what have you found out about Stargates?
Well, I found out that well, we know that the war in Iraq, one of the reasons for the war was to basically take the Stargate that was in Iraq that Saddam Hussein had, and also to raid the tomb of Gilgamesh, uh, to get his DNA. Now, what they used his DNA for, I I'm sure it was for the secret space program, super soldier project, hybridization. I don't know what they plan to do with that. But the Stargate, I heard that Stargate that they took was actually, I've heard that Elon Musk actually has it in one of his SpaceX headquarters.
You mean
I,
you can move the stargates like that?
they took the Stargate out of Iraq.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know
what I
that.
heard. That's what I heard. I could be wrong, but this woman who worked for Elon said, and she was in the military, that that Stargate is with Elon Musk.
Oh, okay. Well, I can believe it. I can definitely believe it.
Hmm.
So
So
that,
that's fascinating. And then there another theory is that the war in Iran is again another Stargate retrieval thievery program that they wanted to remove Stargate 10, which controls the Divine Mother energy. So there's that. And I mean, I believe it. Carrie and I call it the Stargate Wars, because again, it's like keeping humanity down, dumbing us down, uh, blocking us from being part of the intergalactic society, stopping us from stopping us from connecting to the divine, the wanting us to pushing the transhuman agenda with artificial intelligence, connecting us to the Borg, except instead of connecting us to source. So it's all related. Everything is all related. But I think
however, though, we are the most powerful stargates ourselves.
that's true. We are,
Mhm.
which is a thing that we need to keep talking about. We
Right?
are the ones who can get us out of this mess
Right?
by connecting to source,
Right?
because we are the great creator race. That's what we're here for. And that's why they want to dumb us down. They don't want us to discover who we truly are.
Mhm.
They don't want us to be the powerful human species that we were born to be. I mean,
Right.
they give us all these ridiculous lies and I mean, it's like this whole agenda is about dumbing us down, doing it every which way they can. But I, believe it or not, I feel really optimistic about everything. I feel like we're turning it around. We are. We're
We-
connecting up and people are waking up.
And I think that's why so many of us incarnated at this time
Mm-hmm.
was to really bust the programming, to really
Hmm.
assist
Hmm.
humanity to wake up to the
Hmm.
true potential. Because I don't think there's anything exterior that can hold us down.
I agree. Nothing. I mean, I think we're only limited by our own limitations. We have tremendous potential as a species, and all we have to do is believe it, embrace it, and connect up to consciousness.
Mhm.
It's really not that hard. It's just a little bit goes a long way.
Right, right. And which brings me to
Hmm.
Antenna,
Yeah.
a book about you meeting up with your higher self, right? Your
Yeah.
higher consciousness. Want
Hmm.
to tell us about that a little bit?
Sure. Okay, here I have the galley. I needed I ran out of my hard copies. I gave them away, but this is Antenna. And she's a remote viewer. I wrote this book in 2016. I was obsessed with Ingo Swann and the whole idea of remote viewing and connecting to source, which is it's everything. And again, about our true potential of who we really are. And, it's interesting now that remote viewers it's like now more and more people are remote viewing, but
Right.
yeah, Antenna is about a gossip columnist who, through her own, and she's vicious, she's nasty, and she's like always looking for the bad in everybody and writing about it. And she's lives in New York, and through her own bad behavior, she gets into a car accident, dies, goes up to the heavens and meets her higher self, who does this whole thing where she sees everything in her life, all the bad she does, and comes back and does this whole forgiveness tour and rights the wrongs, but maintains her connection
Oh, wow.
and realizes what's really going on. So that's Antenna.
Oh, I
And
love it. I love it. I haven't read it. I look forward to it.
yeah, and then I had another, my latest book is called The Big Shebang, The History of the Universe According to God the Mother. And that starts with the Big Shebang and the birth of the cosmos created by God the Mother and God the Father, and all the women that have been sidelined throughout history, saints and Mary Magdalene and God the Mother. And so that was a fun book to write.
Well, the divine feminine
Hmm.
the is coming back in and being anchored into the crystalline grid of the earth. That's
Yeah.
my woo-woo language, but
Hmm.
really having had my own experience with the great cosmic mother, I can tell you so much divine feminine energy is coming in and being expressed, by people like yourself and other women
Hmm.
that are showing the power and the beauty of the divine feminine.
Yeah, I love it. I think I think a patriarchal society isn't the answer. A matriarchal society isn't the answer. An egalitarian society is the answer,
Right.
where we have balance and where we respect each other. I mean, this whole thing about suppressing the divine feminine isn't doing men any good. This whole thing about taking down the male, this toxic masculinity, putting men down, isn't doing men any good or women any good. We need to build each other up and 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 really respect each other and, you know, honor each other and see the divine light that we all have and that they really want to extinguish that they never can and they never will, try as they might. I mean, I think it's really, really important for us all to really embrace each other. And so, and I also think, it's like I think about the New York Yankees.
Oh,
And I'll tell you why, because it's like I remember when Alexander A-Rod joined the Yankees, right?
mhm.
And the Red Sox went after the best teammate, the one who had the most power, the strongest one on the team, right? And and that was an effort to take down the team. And that's like kind of what's happening with men, taking down the male, right, who has embodies a masculine power. I mean, we both have our strengths, like women, intuition, and our divine feminine is one power, but the men balance us with their strengths. So it's like you take down the men, it's like you're taking down humanity because we both need each other. So
Mhm.
that's my analogy.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. Is there anything that you would really like to get across, like a message for people from you've got a lot of wisdom in your young years.
Oh,
And
thank you. So do you.
well,
Yeah, I think it's whatever we do, the most important thing for us right now is stay connected to source,
mhm.
God consciousness, God, to recognize that we have the power within us. We do. We've got the numbers, we've got the strength, and stay away from the transhuman agenda, and don't lose heart and stay human, humans. That's my message.
Ooh, I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I would like to catch up with you and do another interview in the future sometime.
I would love that. I would love that,
All
April.
righty. You have a wonderful day out there in Florida. Okay, my dear, sending you a lot of love, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks, April. Thanks for having me on, and thanks to all your people out
People.
there, your peeps.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.